All right, awesome. Thank you guys for getting on live tonight. And if you're listening to the recording, this is a Zoom about overcoming objections. And first of all, before we get started, one thing I want to say is I just got back from a David Wood event a couple weeks ago. If you have not been yet to his University in Action, you should invest the money and go, because what you'll find is that no matter what the objection is that people, all these objections I got, I think if I was meeting with someone, none of these objections would hold me back from enrolling that person. And I think the reason why is that my belief needle is way beyond 10. So, you have belief in yourself, belief in the company, belief in the products, belief in the industry, and belief of network marketing, and belief in our compensation plan. And so my belief in all those areas is well beyond 10. So when someone's, has an objection and they're talking to me, no matter what they say to me, my posture doesn't change. I know we have the best company. I know we're in the best industry with the best people and the best compensation plan, the best product. So even though I read your objections and they're all valid objections that you're probably getting every day, what I also find is that the more belief you have in all those areas, the less objections you get. And you may still get a few of them, but when your belief is a 10 plus in all of them, it's really easy just to talk your way through these to people and really explain to them, I might have felt the same way. Here's what I found though. And so I'll just start with the first one and just go through them in no particular order. So the first one was we're not FDA approved. Well, we're never going to be FDA approved because we're a food, not a drug. So, your prescriptions that you get from your doctor are FDA approved. If you buy groceries at Hy-Vee or at Whole Foods or Natural Grocers, those are organic, foods that you're buying, if you're buying from that section, or even just regular apples at the grocery store. And those things that you're buying are never going to be FDA approved. Your food's not FDA approved. When you go through the drive up, it's not FDA approved. And so Isagenix is not FDA approved. So that's a very simple answer to that. We're not a drug, never going to be FDA approved. Second thing, Isagenix and companies like this are a scam or a pyramid scheme. So when someone says that to me, I say, well, explain to me what you mean. And you guys, 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, well, I don't know, one of those companies where, you had to be in first to make money. And then I'll just say, no, because, Lynn Hagdorn's our #1 income earner and she joined Isagenix 5 years ago. Or, we have people that are just joining Isagenix. There's a couple that just joined Isagenix down through a friend of ours team, and they joined on January 1st. They've enrolled 100 people in the last 100 days, and they just made $20,000 in their first since January 1st. Okay, and so they're brand new. So, there's people every day who come in who are making great money with this. But when people talk to me about being a pyramid scheme or a scam, the person at the top always makes the most money, I'll ask them, like, what do you do for a living? I already know the answer and say they're a teacher. Then I'll say, well, does your superintendent make more money than you? Yeah. Does the principal make less than him, but more than you? Mm-hmm. So then you make more than the janitor? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, that's a pyramid. Like, you can't go to work tomorrow as a teacher and say, I want to make as much as the superintendent. That's not going to happen. And when the superintendent job comes open, everybody's going to fight for the one job. You guys in Isagenix, you can say to me, Hilari, I want to make what you're earning. And I'm like, okay, here's exactly how to do it. You can come sit at my table and I'll show you step by step what I did, what we say, what we're still doing. This is the best thing on the planet. Like, no other job can you tell your boss, I want your job. Now tell me how to get it. Because they're not going to do that because they want their job, right? So, and also there's a great thing online. You can go to YouTube and you can look up Network Marketing Mythbuster. And it's like 12 minutes long, and it's by David Wood. So if you put in David Wood, Network Marketing Mythbuster, he goes through in 12 minutes and he gives you book after book of economists, strategists, financial planners, and they talk about why this is a real industry and how much money is done in this industry every single day. Because we do more than the NFL. We do 10 times more than the music industry. We do more than the NFL. We do, and no one would ever question if those were real industries. So the more confident you become, that's just something, that doesn't even faze me anymore. When people say that, they don't understand if they think it's a pyramid, and you have to know that. So the more you can educate yourself, the more confident you'll become in that. Okay, no, I already use Shakeology and other products. Okay, so here's a tip. Never bash any other company. So if somebody says to me, I'm already using Shakeology, I just say, that's awesome. I'm so glad you're already doing a protein shake. Here's why I love our shakes. Our shakes have an undenatured whey. They've never been heated above 110 degrees. So they have living enzymes to help with your digestive system. Our shakes have 242 nutrients. Our shakes have 100% whey protein sourced out of New Zealand because it's the highest quality protein found in the world. I just point out all these things about our product that are amazing, that I know are not what are in their products. I never say like, your product doesn't have blanc, blanc, blanc. I'm just like, this is what ours has. And they know that that's not in their products. So, you know, because like their shakes are half soy, half whey. Ours are 100% whey. I don't need to point that out. I can just tell them what is going on with our shake. I also make sure I say that our shakes are the only shake on the market, whether it be through any nutrition store or any other company, that are 100% meal replacement. They have all the macronutrients to replace a meal. They're 40% carb, 30% fat, 30% protein. No other shake on the market is that. So that is one thing I really clarify. And that's it. And otherwise, I mean, I don't try to convince people to switch from what they're doing to isogenics. If you guys have kids in the background, if you can hit the mute button down in the bottom left corner of your screen, that would be awesome. If not, I'll have to mute everybody. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so they're not my kids this time. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and mute it. And then I'll unmute it at the end. There we go. Okay. All right, next question. I don't have the money. I don't have enough money. The payment plan, is there a payment plan? Okay, so when I'm talking to someone, you guys, I draw out how many meals. So if I was in person, you guys have seen me do this a million times if you've watched me do the op meeting, or even if I'm over the phone, I'll say, okay, Mercy, you're wanting to look at our 30-day system. It replaces 68 meals. And I'll have them write down 68 meals on their paper. And then I'll say, Mercy, what do you pay per meal? And sometimes people will say, I don't have any idea what I pay per meal, or, you know, they'll give me an amount. Like I was just in Atlanta, they said $15. That was awesome. People don't say that where I live, you know, but even if somebody says $7, you know, that's great. $7 at 68 meals is going to be $420. So I'll say, well, currently, Mercy, you're spending $420 on those meals. Now you might be buying it at different times of the month. You might be getting some from the gas station and some from the drive up and that, but you are spending $420, and our system's going to cost you $272. Plus you're also, with shipping and tax, going to be around $300. So we're still saving you $120 a month. So when somebody talks about cost, you have to make sure you're showing them the value first, and that you're asking them what they pay per meal. I do not tell people what it costs until they tell me what they're paying per meal. And then once they tell me, you know, I show them how we're more. Now, if they say, I can't pay all that up front, I say to them, and if you don't feel comfortable saying this, you don't have to, but I say to them, you know, Mercy, do you have a card we can put it on? And before that, then you can pay your card those payments. So like if somebody says to me, I don't want to pay $300 up front, I'd rather pay $75 each week for the next 4 weeks. I say, awesome, let's put it on your Discover card. And each of the 4 weeks you can pay your Discover card $75. I mean, it's no different than paying Isagenix payment plan or paying your card a payment plan. So that's what I talk to people about. And I also say, Mercy, look, not only can you pay your card off every once a week, just like you want to do with Isagenix, but if you let me show you the next step, you know, where do you buy your groceries? Sunmart, awesome. Okay, so tell me who 2 people you are. No, you know, if Sunmart was going to give you half your grocery back, who 2 people you know, you could get to shop at Sunmart. Oh, Peggy and Kathy? Great. Okay, great. And then I draw out for Mercy. You share, they share. And so not only could she put it on her card and pay it off in her little payments like she wanted, but I also show her a way that she can get it paid for. And you guys know me, like I talk to everybody about the income opportunity. I don't necessarily call it a business because people don't want another business or another thing, but they want income, right? So at that point, I would also say to Mercy, Mercy, I want to know what you're going to change in your life that in a year from now, you're not worried about putting $300 on your debit card at one time. And I say that really sincerely because I was in that spot. I mean, 11 years ago, that would have been a stretch. Okay. And so I was sick of living like that. And if you have to worry about $300 on your debit card, you have to be sick of living like that. And so I sincerely say to them, I understand how you feel. I felt the exact same way. That's why I shared this with everybody I knew. And that's why I continue to do that, because I want to help other people have freedom and not feel like you feel right now. Let's do this. And you guys, I mean, you could do that. I mean, you just have to get confident in saying that. But if people, so that's what I say. Okay. There's a lot, so I'm just going to keep going. I hope I'm not being like too to the point, but all right. The next one, I told Justin when I read this one out loud, I kind of snickered, if you know me very well, but I'm like, my husband won't support me, so it's not easy to do it alone. Okay. So it's just food, you guys. So you know what the thing is like when you get started, just eat the food. And if you're working, then you have money. If your husband's working, he has money too, right? So like when I started, and Justin had reason not to be 100% supportive, but I understood I was doing something that was going to help my family. You're not out doing something that's not going to provide for your family or help your family. So my take on this is, I mean, I just put my blinders on and I used the products and I moved forward. And I love my husband because he never said, no, you can't do it. He didn't try to get in my way. He might not have been as excited about it as I was, but he didn't tell me, you know, no, you can't do it. So I would just say, I would have a conversation with your spouse, whoever that is, and I would just say, this is something I really want to do. I want to feel better about myself. I want to have more energy. I mean, for me, I wanted to have weight loss. I wanted to feel good in my own skin. You know, I'm not going to spend any more money than I would at the grocery store or wherever else. And if you start moving forward with the business, you guys, I will tell you this, if your husband or your wife is not supportive in the business, make money. Once you make money, they get supportive. And this goes both ways. I've sat with women whose husbands weren't supportive, and I have sat with men on our team whose wives weren't supportive. And when it comes down to it, 99 times out of 100, if you would make money, they get supportive. But what they'll say to me is, my wife goes to all this stuff, and it's like her girlfriend's club, and she doesn't make any money with this. Because when you treat it like a hobby, it costs you money like a hobby. But if you treat it like a business, it pays you like a business. And so you have to decide to treat it like a business. And that'll help you. So I hope that was nice enough. As soon as I stop, will I gain all my weight back? So when someone asks me that, I always laugh. I'm like, okay, let me ask you this. If you go to the gym 5 days a week and you're looking super hot and you decide, I'm going to stop going to the gym and I'm going to eat cheese puffs every day instead, what's going to happen? Going to gain the weight back, right? It's the same thing. I mean, this is such a simple, you know, people have to be logical about this. Like, if you're going to stop doing isogenics and you're going to go eat crap, you're probably going to gain the weight back. If you're going to stop doing isogenics and you're going to eat 3 square meals a day and they're perfectly healthy, then you'll probably be able to maintain the weight loss. But it's not like you can do it and then just quit forever and keep the weight off. So that was the question. As soon as I gain it back, as soon as I stop, will I gain it back? Sure. But I just like compare it to the gym. You know, if you work out, you know how you feel. Like Jody, I know you're on mute, but you can use a thumbs up. So Jody looks like a super hot mom, right, Jody? And she's gotten super fit since she started isogenics. Shake your head if that's correct. Yes, she looks super fit. So the thing is, if Jody stopped working out 5 or 6 days a week and stopped running, she wouldn't look like she does, and she wouldn't feel like she does, more importantly. And so it's the same idea. You know, you're putting in great nutrition. You want to keep doing it. So I'm going to skip down to another question because somebody else asked, do I have to do these shakes forever? How can you expect me to do a shake for the rest of my life? So, you know, I always talk to people about when you get to the weight you want, the shakes are 1 meal a day. So you can still have, 2 meals that you want and do the 1 shake a day. Even right now, like I'm doing 2 shakes a day. We have Top Achievers in June. And so I know what my goal is for that. So I'm doing 2 shakes a day. But that doesn't mean that you can't have the other meal that you want. So I made chili 2 nights ago because it was cold out. And so I had a shake for breakfast and a shake for lunch, and I had chili with my family that night. So you still eat the food you want. And that's what I tell people, like, once you get to the goal and you're doing 1 shake a day, that's still 2 meals a day you want, still your snacks. I mean, I love the post that are on Facebook that says, like, this is what you think I eat, and it shows shakes. It says, this is what I really eat. I mean, Mercy and I had a family thing a couple weeks ago, and my dad and her dad cooked mushrooms, like, like the mushrooms you hunt and fry. And we ate fried mushrooms, and Mercy looks the best she's looked ever, and she just had her birthday. And so she's older than me, but, but anyway, the whole point is you can eat real food. I mean, I've hung out with Carrie Michaels. Where's she at? There she is. That girl can hang with the best of them, eating chips and guacamole and margaritas. She's a Mexican foodaholic, and she is hot. And so you guys, I mean, I just talk to people about, this is real life. My dad has done oatmeal every morning for his whole life. He's 63. And it's like, nobody's like, oh, I have 8 Cheerios every morning for my whole life. Just one shake a day, have the shake. That's how I talk to him about shakes. That kind of answers the next one. I like to eat my food, or I like real food. So I love this anymore. When people say I like real food, I'm like, tell me what real food is to you. And, I understand they want to choose something. I say, that's great. Do a shake for breakfast, have a snack at 10, eat your fork and knife meal at noon, you have a snack in the afternoon, and drink a shake. You're still having 3 out of the 5 times you're eating a day are knife and fork meals or food you're chewing. If you want to do a shake and a bar, you can. Peggy's best friend Shay has always done bars, and she lost how much weight, Peggy? 20 pounds? 21 pounds, 20 pounds, 20 pounds, doing 2 bars instead of 2 shakes. So, is it the same exact makeup? No, but she still had great results because she did that. I mean, she lost 20 pounds, you guys. So, if somebody wants to chew their food, suggest the bars, the shake in a bar. They like to eat real food. Another person said, I eat clean, and I like to eat, quote, real food. So I love this because we have Lori Harder on our team, who's fitness competitor, Miss Bikini America, Miss Figure America, on the cover of like 6 Oxygen magazines. She just did a podcast you can listen to about eating real food, what she thought. She was already clean eating before Isogenics, and so she wasn't a shake person. And we have a whole team of fitness competitors within our organization, and that's what a lot of them felt like before. But what they've realized is that even when they're eating those clean meals, they were not getting the dense nutrition. They weren't getting the 240 nutrients. They were eating 100 minerals that you get through Ionics in our shake. And so when you can explain to somebody, even like me, I met with a personal trainer one time, and she said, well, I had a real meal for lunch. And I said, just tell me what you mean by a real meal. And so she's like, I had a banana, I had a bag of carrots, like one of those little Ziploc bags. And she said, I had a yogurt, a Greek yogurt. And I was like, awesome. That's a great meal. It really is. But I'm like, did that give your body 242 nutrients, 36 grams of protein, the exact 40%, carb, 30% fat, 30% protein that you should be getting? And her answer was no. And that's all I said to her. I said, so this is real food. But you guys have to remember that so many supplements out there are just not great. And so that's what people are putting us in the same ballpark as. So if you have people that are saying to you, I don't want to drink, or I don't want to take supplements for the rest of my life, I always say to people, Isogenics is our food, and food has become our supplement. Because I realized very quickly that, what my kids are eating at school every day is not great nutrition for them. If they're having a Pop-Tart for breakfast, or if they're having a toaster strudel, that's not great nutrition for them. But flooding their bodies with 242 nutrients is great. And then I don't have to worry about the other stuff they eat throughout the day as much, because I know they got that great nutrition first thing in the morning. So, I always tell people, this is not a supplement to us. My 2-year-old does not take a supplement. My 2-year-old, drinks the shakes because of the nutrition it gives his body. And, my 23-year-old, who's a college football player, drinks the same shake. He doesn't drink a supplement. He drinks this because of how it fuels his body. So, I mean, that's how I talk to people about it being a supplement versus food. I just say this is the best superfood on the planet. It just happens to come in the form of a shake. And so we sometimes get confused with other supplements that are out there, but Isogenics is more than that. It's actually meal replacing meals. And that's how I talk to them. Plus, I just tell people anymore, you can't get all your nutrition that you need through a regular diet. And if you just look at the chart that Isogenics has on Isogenics Business or any of the Isogenics sites, Mercy could probably tell me exactly where to get it. Look, she's keeping her brother-in-law's kids, so she has all these kids, all these little kids. But I'll have Mercy post on the Team IsoLife page where the chart is that shows like what you get in our vitamins. I know some of you guys know where this chart is, like what you get in our vitamins and what you'd have to eat if you were eating regular food. Jody's shaking her head. Do you know where it is too, Jody? Okay. If somebody can post it on there, that'd be awesome. But it just shows like all these foods you'd have to eat just to get what's in our daily vitamin pack. And it's crazy, you guys. You could never eat that amount of food. And I was watching a Dr. Oz special over a year ago now, but he put out on this tray what a woman should eat in a day to get the nutrition her body needs to be 100% fuel that efficiency. And I'm not kidding you. It was like a 4 foot by like 3 foot table full of food. And I'm like, who's going to eat all that? I mean, who has time to eat all that? Who's going to eat that? Who's going to meal prep that? And with Isogenics, you can do 2 shakes and your ionics and get what you need. Take your vitamins. So much easier. Okay. I need to check with my doctor first. I just say Isogenics is not medicine. Isogenics is just food. So if you feel the need to check with your doctor, that's awesome. But on your way home from this appointment, can you go through the drive up? That's what I asked. These are just my answers. I'm not saying this is what you should say. I'm not saying, we don't claim to heal, cure, treat, prevent anything. But, when I'm talking to somebody and they take a medication for something and they say, I need to talk to my doctor first, I said, it's completely up to you. But when you leave my house on your way home, can you go through the drive up downtown? And they're like, well, yeah, why couldn't I? And I'm like, okay, if you can eat McDonald's, you can have an isogenic shake that's going to flood your body with dense nutrition. We're just food. So that's how it's crazy when people say, I need to talk to my doctor. I understand if they need to, that's their prerogative. But I just say, explain to me a little bit more about that. Because a lot of times they'll think there's like Isogenics is some type of medicine in it, because of the awesome results we have. And we're not. We're not a medication. We don't claim to heal, cure, treat, prevent. We just are great superfood, and you flood your body with the right food and your body will take care of itself. So that's how I talk to people about needing to talk to their doctor first, because they can eat stuff at every drive up and they don't ask their doctor about that. So just remember that. Okay. What other do we want to do next? I've done some of these. Okay. How much exercise do I have to do to get the results that I want, that I see other people having? So first of all, you want to remember that if you talk to any trainer that's worth their weight, they'll tell you that 80% of your body makeup is what goes in your mouth and 20% is what you're doing in the gym. And I'm not saying being in the gym is not important. What I'm saying is that 80% of what you're going to look like, especially Lori Harder will tell you your abs. She always says your abs are made in the kitchen, because she's like, people don't realize that they can go to the gym and do a million sit-ups, but if they're not feeding their body the right nutrition, their abs will never look the way that they want them to look. So I always tell people 80% of it is what you're putting in your mouth. The rest is the gym. Holly DeMott was an IsaBody champion. She lost 92 pounds in 12 months. And for the first 6 months, she lost 50 of those pounds. And she didn't exercise one time except for light walking, because she just didn't have the energy. She didn't feel up to it. Now, the second half of the IsaBody challenge, when she lost the other 40, she did. But I always tell people she lost over 50 pounds with no exercise. And Mercy had a great comment. A team member of hers is in a wheelchair and she's had phenomenal results. I mean, amazing results, you guys. And so, it's really what you're putting in your mouth. That's why Isogenics is so important. And then definitely once you start losing weight and you feel good, you want to go to the gym. Like, right, Amanda? Amanda goes at like 5 o'clock in the morning, like 3 days a week. You can just shake your head. We can see you. So, it's just what you're putting in your body. And then you want to exercise, right? At least I do. It's more fun. You can start to see more definition. Okay. I'm going to do a couple business ones that we have. One was, I'm too busy. So if somebody tells me I'm too busy, the first thing I realize is that they think I want them to do Isogenics like I do Isogenics, because that's what they're comparing it to, right? So I'll say to them, like if Diane said, I'm too busy to do this, I say, Diane, are you going to eat tomorrow? And she's going to say, yeah. And I'm going to say, okay, all I want you to do is just eat the best food on the planet and put it in your body every day. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to share with anybody. You don't have to do Zoom calls. You don't have to do anything like that. You can just eat the food every day. Because if you're getting told, I don't have the time, or I'm too busy, they're thinking you want them to do what you're doing. And so even though that may be why you're meeting with them, because you're excited, because you think they'd be great at doing what you do, if they get on the products and they have awesome product results, I mean, you guys, think about it yourself. How many of you started Isogenics because for the food? 83% started for the food. You know, there are only a few of us that really got started because we saw the business opportunity right at the very beginning. And so I encourage you to coach people really well on the food. And if you do that, you're going to have all these people that, like, on day 7, day 10, the first month in, you're able to say, okay, now Jordan, let's talk about sharing with 2 people. You know, who do you know? And at that point, you can start talking to them about that. But when somebody says, I'm too busy, like a lot of people get this in November and December, I'm too busy with the holidays, I'll just start in January. And I'm like, whoa, 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 you're going to eat for the next 60 days. Let's order you just the shakes, do the ionics, do 1 shake a day, just get on the system so you feel great through the holidays. So it's all about, you know, eating the food, in my opinion. So talk to them about that. That way they're not going to say they're too busy. I've done other companies like this and it didn't work. So this is a 2-pronged answer for me, at least when I talk to people. I say, number 1, our company is not all companies. Our company is different. And we know that because we've been in Isogenics. And so we know that it's very different than other network marketing companies that are out there. And so I just say, have you ever had a bad steak? Yeah. Have you never eaten steak again? Well, no, I've ate it somewhere different. I'm like, it's the same thing. We're not the same company as what you've already done. But number 2, when people say it didn't work, I've heard people quit Isogenics and say, it just doesn't work. And I say, well, explain to me what you mean it doesn't work. Well, I talked to people and nobody said yes. And so, you know, you can't really make money with that. So I'll say, well, how many people did you talk to? Well, I mean, I talked to my mom and I talked to my friend from work and I talked to my lady at church. I'm like, okay, when you've talked to 500 people, come tell me it didn't work. Because you guys, you have to treat this like a business. You know, if any of you are on here listening and you have a college degree, you went to school for 4 years and you paid the institution. They did not pay you anything to learn your degree. But you join Isogenics and you think you're going to become a professional network marketer overnight. Isogenics is paying you from the get-go. Raise your hand on this call. I can see all of you guys. Well, the ones that aren't muted. If you've made $1. Okay, that's every single person. So Isogenics paid you. And if you haven't been in for 4 years, which most of you haven't, you're still in school. So if you're making money with Isogenics, I mean, I want you to think about it. Like, I went to college for 6 years and it cost me lots of money. And I worked a full-time job while I went to college so I could pay for that college. They weren't paying me to learn. In Isogenics, they're paying you to learn. So, you know, you have to treat this like it's that. You have to say, like, Susan Sly is one of our top 5 income earners. She's an awesome trainer, but she met with Jimmy Smith and she said, I'm committing to being on auto-ship for 7 years. And if at the end of 7 years, I am not making money, I'm going to look for something else. Now, she's made, I don't even know how many, probably $15 million in 15 years. But she is a hard worker and she's consistent. And that's the key, is that she didn't come in thinking, I'm going to do this for 6 months and quit. I mean, I can tell you that if Isogenics stopped paying me tomorrow, I would still eat this food. Like, we went to the beach 3 weeks ago and somehow I didn't take enough ionics. And we went 3 days without ionics. And we literally pulled in the garage. And as I'm unpacking the suitcases, Justin brought me a shot of it to the garage because I was like losing my mind because it keeps me here. And so, like, I can't imagine not eating this food. So even if for some reason you aren't out sharing, which is fine, keep eating the food and just consistently eat the food and order every month, because as long as you order 100 business volume a month, you maintain and bank all the volume of what's coming in below you. So I have people on our team that have been in for 4 years, 8 years, that decide to start sharing with people. And they literally have hundreds of thousands of business volume accrued because they order their product every single month. So just keep eating the food and you're going to find the right people. If you keep sharing, you're going to find the right people. But if you want to make money quickly and you want to see if this works, then you need to talk to a lot of people quickly. Like I said, the couple that I'm talking about, they just posted on Team IsoLife today, so you can go out there and see that. But it's down through some friends of ours, and they just got started in January. But they have enrolled 100 people in 100 days. And I can guarantee you that if I called her and I said, okay, how many people did you talk to? You know, I bet they talked to 1,000 people or 500 people or, you know, a huge number of people. It isn't like it's Audrey Moss and her husband, trying to think of her married name now, but they enrolled this couple. And so they had a post on Isogenics Business today. But I can guarantee if I called Audrey and James and said, how many people did your new enrollees talk to? It would be hundreds and hundreds. They didn't just talk to 100 and get 100, you guys. And so, do massive action. If you're wanting to build this as a business, I mean, jump in with both feet. Like, say, I'm going to share with 100 people in the next 30 days. Why not? Why not? And so, some are going to say yes and some are going to say no. And so when they say no, just keep them up on your board. But so when somebody says this type of business doesn't work, I always just ask them more questions, because typically they didn't work, not the business didn't work. What else? Okay, back to product. There's too much sugar in the product. So I talk to people about the sugar in our product is not refined sugar. So it's not like sugar you're getting in pop or candy or a lot of packaged foods. Our sugar is agave nectar and sugar beet. So it's a naturally occurring sugar. That's why people with blood sugar issues can get on our products and they have phenomenal results, because our sugar is not refined. Just like a lot of our carbs in our product, they're simple carbs, or they're complex carbs, not simple carbs. So, a carb is not a carb. A simple carb and a complex carb are not the same thing. And your body needs carbs. Your brain needs carbs to function. And so this is perfectly broken down. 40% complex carbs, 30% protein, 30% good fats. So your body is getting what it needs. And John Anderson has done formulation for over 39 years, formulated for, over 600 companies. He's brilliant. And so, I trust him way more than I know about carbs and sugars to fuel my body. And I've seen thousands upon thousands of people. And you guys, one thing David Wood said at the event that I thought was really good. He said, when you're new, or even you've been in a long time, and somebody says, well, explain to me everything about the products. He said, I'm going to give you the easiest answer. Are you guys all ready? If somebody says, tell me everything that's in the products and how does it work? I don't know. Here's this. I don't know. Watch this. And why he says that is because it's not our job to think we're like nutritionists and scientists. In the back of your catalog, it lists every single product, how many milligrams, exactly where it comes, exactly what's in it. On, ISA product, they can click on every single product and it breaks down the fast fact sheet of what's in it. You don't have to be a scientist to do well at this. I went to a meeting with a doctor, and we went and met with another doctor. And I'm not like, I don't know all the product details, because you don't have to know all that. That's why the book is there. I mean, I know enough. But so we went in and we met with, and the doctor I went with, she knows everything about everything. And we met with another doctor, and we sat down, and he said, well, I want to know, we're going through the products. He said, so I said, this is our Ionics, it helps with inflammation. It's going to help with energy and mental clarity. It's got adaptogens. I said, it has 100 trace minerals in every ounce. And he said, well, what are the 100 minerals? And I just looked at him and I go, honestly, I have no idea. I know a couple, but I opened the back of the catalog and I go, but right here, it lists all of them and how many milligrams and what it is. So I just handed him the book, and he was just to kind of do with his finger. He goes, there's really good stuff in here. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, this is what I've seen it help people with. So I just told him what I've seen, not what's in it. And he was like, okay. And went to the next thing. He just kept looking in the book at whatever he wanted. When we left that day, he ordered a president's pack for him, a president's pack for his wife, and the whole skincare system. So he ordered like 800 business volume. And we went in the parking lot, and the doctor that I went there and met him with, she was like, you didn't even know the answer. And I just laughed. I'm like, you don't have to know that. Do you not get that? Like, that's what I was trying to show you. So you don't have to be a product expert. So when I asked this product question of the carbs and the sugars, you have to know that John is known as the mineral man. He is brilliant. And so just use the catalog, use the tools. You don't have to know it all. Okay. Somebody said, I don't eat breakfast now. I just say, well, you should. It's the most important meal of the day. It's what fuels your body for the whole day. You're going to start having a shake. That's what I say. I don't make this difficult. Somebody else said, I still have to buy groceries for my kids, so I can't spend that much on myself. So I'll just break down with somebody a meal. So I'll say, okay, say you're having chicken breast and vegetables and a bread for dinner. Okay, how much did the chicken breast cost? I mean, you can break it down per meal, and you can show people that even if they're, purchasing food for their family, they're still going to be saving money. Because I can tell you that I've got 4 kids that live in my home. And when Justin and I are, using Ionics, and we're both doing 2 shakes a day, it does not cost me at all what it costs me to be at the grocery store for the 6 of us when it's just my kids eating the other food. Plus, if you have kids, it's awesome. Like, put them on the shakes. I mean, I'm looking at so many parents that are on here. I know that Carrie's kids are on the food. One of them's in college and she eats the food in college. I know that Mercy's kids are on the food. I know that Peggy's kids are on the food. I know that PJ's kids are on the food. I know that Jody's kids are on the food. I know Amanda's kids are on the food. Like, Shannon's kids are on the food. I mean, if I can see your name, I know your kids are on the food. So I just talk to people about, I'm not going to give my body, my husband's body, the best nutrition on the planet and give my kid Oreos. I mean, we eat Oreos still, don't get me wrong, but not for breakfast. So I couldn't like say I didn't eat Oreos because if you know me, that's a lie. So back on track. But we all eat the food. So I'm just like, it's just food and you're going to eat food still. And you're still going to save money because if you're eating out, if you work outside the home, that meal can be replaced. So eat in your home the meal you're eating with your family and your meal you'd normally eat out, have your shake. Like Justin, when he worked at the nuclear plant, he had a meal at the plant every day. If he took Isogenics, it cost us $3. If he ate at the plant, it cost him $8. So eat the meal that you're eating out as Isogenics. I mean, just make it work for you and your family. So those are all the questions that I had. I'm going to unmute the line. If you have background noise, if you can please hit mute in your bottom left corner, that'd be awesome. If there are any other questions or if there's a way that you answer it a little different than I do, we'd be happy to hear that. I also want to remind you guys this week, instead of doing the Thursday night Zoom opportunity presentation, we're just going to have Wednesday night because I'm hosting the corporate one. So on Wednesday night, Sean, Scott, and I will be doing the corporate Zoom. So it's Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. And so there will not be a Thursday Zoom just this week. Next week that will resume like it's been. So hold on one second, I'll unmute the line. If you guys have questions that pertain to tonight, that would be awesome because we have this recorded. We're gonna keep recording it. Okay, so you guys are unmuted. Any other objections that you're getting or any other way that you guys want to answer some of the questions? Any other questions? Going once?
Just a minute, Mama. I'll cover you up. Just a minute.
Okay.
I have problems with people
I know
that they're diabetic.
Okay, if your phone is not on mute, can you please mute your phone or your computer?
That's very bad.
That would be great. Okay, Carolyn, can you ask your question again?
Yes, I have a lot of people that say they can't use our product because they're diabetic. What should I say to them?
Okay, so I just say Isogenics, first of all, does not claim to heal, cure, treat, prevent any illness or disease, but that when you're putting great nutrition in your body, the body does heal itself. And so I would just say, and I know you're newer, but I would say I'm working with a group of women that have been doing this for 11 years, and they've helped hundreds of people with their sugar issues. And so, we would love to be able to help you with yours as well. So the company offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, and, why not just give it a try? I mean, that's how I talk to people. And I just get them on it because I know once I coach them and they're having results that they're going to, Kathy can't.
Good night, Mama.
We can't make any claims on here, but Kathy's on here. And Kathy, have you had amazing results with your blood sugars?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I take the Ionics every morning. And if the carbs are a little bit high, we split the shake up. I do half in the morning and half later. But I am having tremendous results with getting my body alkaline and using the products.
Okay.
Very compliant. Good job, Kathy. And Carolyn, people have amazing results that have blood sugar issues. So
I just know personally, my husband was like borderline diabetic, and he just went in for a physical, and his sugar is great now. His cholesterol's really good, and his blood pressure has dropped 30 points.
Okay, so we cannot say those are awesome results.
I know.
Okay. We cannot claim that that's Isogenic. So because he started eating healthier, that's awesome. But especially because we're recording this. So, we cannot claim that we heal, cure, treat, prevent any illness or disease. Just, again, to note that.
No, Carter,
his result,
I really don't. Yes, it's fantastic.
Anybody else have any questions or any objections that you're getting? No? Anybody have any way that they answer the questions a little bit differently? Okay, well, you guys, thank you for being on here. We will get the recording posted to the website, justinandhilarycourtney.com, and all the other ones are being posted as well. They'll either up there today or they're going to be up by tomorrow, that we've had the last couple weeks. So again, just a reminder that the Zoom is Wednesday night this week, Opportunity Zoom at 7 Thursday night. So, all right, thanks for being on, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hilary.
You're welcome. Yep.